25 years. Worked in PR, wrote manuals, wrote speeches for the president of the company of RGIS Inventory that's in Auburn Hills and was in Rochester. She prided herself on being the written language. It was her whole life, was the English language, from when she was salutatorian all the way through until 12 years ago. 12 years, so for Maria to forget where she drove, and it was 5 miles away, we started to notice something. Now, fast forward even back further, my dad's grandma Alice, when I was in high school, I heard lots of things about, oh, there's kids coming over and stealing stuff out of her house, and we gotta go visit grandma more because she's seeing things. And so as time progresses, we always learn more. We always learn that support is so huge, and the more we can share, it's really caring. So fast forward now, Maria is very advanced in Alzheimer's, and now her dear husband Brian, why she brings up the notebook, Brian is now exhibiting signs. So I have 2. So 3 years ago, after countless hospital visits, and in 1 year alone we were in there 12 times, I started to pay attention to everybody around me, and the nurses would ask me, you go talk to this family, you're further along than they are. Can you go talk to these guys? They're further along than you are. And they pulled me because they're like, well, you have this sense about you. You have your sea legs. Because most of the times when we start to realize these things, we go into denial. And we don't want to admit it. But as soon as those signs can be start seeing, like with my dad now, we're on it and we are proactive. But I remember those days. I remember those days very, very clearly. What it was like when things first started to not go right. So, and in my mom's honor, several things have happened because I know she would want the same thing. If she could tell what was going on today, she would be doing the same things I am now. So, not only do I talk to families when requested, or groups when requested, I started something called the Purple Page Talks. You can find them on Facebook, you can find them on YouTube, and they're different topics, and they're about 5 to 10 minutes long, and they're very real. Accidents, falls, insurance, medical, all the things you have to do. It's reverse parenting. I call them the reverse sex talks, because they're hard to do, but they're so necessary and important. Talk about a family who's been through everything. We have had her identity stolen. So obviously the new Attorney General, I'm all over her and talking to her because there's things that need to change when it comes to that. She got out. The one thing that everybody dreads when they have Alzheimer's, parent or family member, is they're gonna get out. She got out. And we were very fortunate she made it last year to see her 75th birthday, because there's no way where they live she should have survived it. All those things that you think aren't gonna happen, they're gonna happen. And I talk about those in the Purple Page Talks. So the other thing we created, there's 3, is the Alzheimer's Dementia Family Fund. So I work with the caregiving services that have helped us now for the last almost 10 years to have a fund somebody can apply for and get 64 hours of respite care. So as you're starting to learn to get your sea legs, you have somebody who can come in, give some medical help, or give you a break to go to those doctor's appointments, lawyer's appointments, all those things that you find yourself faced with, boom, instantly. So that was the second thing that came out of her journey so far. And the third thing that's coming out of her journey, which I'm so proud of, is a clothing line, not only for adults and the elderly, but also for kids with disability. I'm proud to say it's called the Smartie Fancy Sassy Clothing Company, as in Smartie Pants, Fancy Pants, and Sassy Pants, because she called me all those things as I was growing up. And it all started with the year of the dozen visits in the hospital and the UTIs, because that becomes very common with them, both men and women. And it was in the middle of the night when the wheels started turning, the smoke started going, and I was like, there's got to be something we can do. And that's when it was born. So it is right now in patent side of the world. The brand is now legal and up and running, and it's super exciting. But what's going to come with it, the rest of it, I'm so excited for everybody to see, to be able to try, and be able to do, because it made a world of difference in just our family. And the people who have seen it, who didn't realize what they were seeing, who saw her in the nursing facility when she had to go, or the hospital, or even her caregivers, are beside themselves. I've had a couple people hug me and cry, and they don't even know the extent of what's coming yet. That, to me, is the best way to honor my mom. And every year we do a Mom Would Be So Proud comedy event, and the money goes to the Alzheimer Dementia Fund. This last year I was honored to have an author from Seattle come in and talk about her mom's journey. So I thank you so much for being here tonight, because this is such a big, strong thing. And 2022 is coming, and why that's so important is that's going to be the biggest amount of baby boomers who are going to face either the start or be a little bit in their journey. And that's why you see so many facilities going up right now. Please educate yourself. Please have those reverse sex talks. I can't stress it enough. They leave so much in your life, so much stress, and it will give them such a peace of mind to know someone cares about them and has their best foot forward. So thank you.